What? Little Prompt, what you gonna do? What you gonna do, bro?
Oh man, Jack Doherty just can't stop tripping over his own bag. This dude is out here fumbling like it's his full-time job, and his latest crash out, it involves none other than Kai Cenat, who didn't just check him, he completely sonned him.
So I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna live with Jack. We just finessed him out of 300, chat.
Turning Jack into a walking L. Here's how it went down. Jack thought he was being slick, desperate for some clout, desperate for a seat at Kai's table. So what does he do? He hops on Twitch and drops 300 gifted subs in Kai's channel. That's $1,500. Gone in seconds, just like that. All because Jack thought throwing money would buy him friendship and maybe a collab. Picture this. It's like watching a dude chuck his wallet at a stranger on the street screaming, "Notice me!" It's embarrassing. And Kai? Man, Kai saw straight through it. Instead of giving Jack the attention he begged for, he flipped it into pure comedy. He laughed with his chat, cracked jokes, and kept it moving while still pocketing the money. So Jack's big master plan ended exactly how you'd expect, with him looking like the clown who pulls up to a party with snacks nobody asked for, only to get ignored all night. The difference? Kai didn't just ignore him, he cashed out and kept his respect intact. Meanwhile, Jack was left holding air, exposed to the world as a dude who'll literally pay for crumbs of attention. And here's the wild part. Kai wasn't even close to done with him yet. Now let's really break down what type of dude Jack Doherty is, because the reason people laugh at him isn't just about the $1,500 he threw at Kai. This is the same guy who went viral for one of the dumbest flex to fumble moments in influencer history, the McLaren crash.
You guys, you can't see I'm most likely going to crash this car.
Picture this, a rainy freeway, a $200,000 car, and Jack with his eyes glued to his phone instead of the road. No! Instead of focusing on driving, he was busy checking his chat and texting like the world couldn't wait. And in seconds, boom, his flashy McLaren got turned into nothing but a $200,000 pile of twisted metal.
Bro, my whole fucking car, bro.
But here's where it gets darker. His boy Michael was in the passenger seat and ended up bleeding heavy from the wreck. And instead of worrying about his friend, Jack was crying about the car. Imagine almost losing your life and the driver's first thought is, man, my whip is totaled. That's the kind of energy Jack brings. And how did he make it right? Not with therapy bills, not with real accountabilities, nah. He turned it into content, of course. And later, as some half-baked apology, he handed Michael a jet ski, like that somehow balances out almost putting him in a coffin. But wait, Jack's big brain decisions don't stop there. He's the same guy who shelled out a wild $400,000 just to have rappers show up at his parties. Lil Baby pulled up to Jack's 21st, performed a couple of tracks, and walked away $200,000 richer, while Jack stood there cheesing like he just made a power move. In reality, he got played like an ATM with no limit. And then came Polo G, who managed to outdo Lil Baby in the bare minimum department. Polo barely gave Jack 10 minutes of performance before straight up walking off mid-party. Jack, panicking like a kid about to get left at the mall, tried to shove the mic back in Polo's hand, desperate to keep the show alive. But Polo, he looked done with Jack before he even hit the stage. The cherry on top, Jack exposed just how clueless he really is when he asked Polo how Lil Durk managed to make it to the party, knowing full well Durk is locked up in jail on a murder-for-hire case. That question alone told everyone in the room this kid had no idea what he was doing. Polo, who actually has ties to Durk, handled it smooth, though. He just ignored Jack, smiled for selfies with fans, and let the awkwardness hang heavy in the air. At that point, Jack's luxury party wasn't a celebration. It was an overpriced crash course in how not to throw an event. Rappers left with fat checks, the crowd saw right through the chaos, and Jack was left holding nothing but embarrassment. And if you thought it couldn't get worse, even Fauci, the internet's walking disaster magnet, had to clown Jack. You know you're down bad when someone like Fauci is roasting you, because if he's calling you out, you've clearly crossed into clown territory. Meanwhile, on the other side of the internet, Kai Cenat was running laps around Jack without lifting a finger. While Jack tried to buy his way in with that $1,500 sub bomb, Kai didn't need to bark or beef. He just laughed, took the money and flipped it into primetime entertainment, roasting Jack in front of thousands watching live.
I'm not associating myself with that. He was doing bad. He was doing bad all year, Chad. That's not good. That's not good vibes. That's not good vibes. That's not good vibes. No goodbye. But we got 300 though. We got 300.
That whole moment with Kai completely shut down any hope Jack had of a collab. It was like he walked straight into a trap with a giant neon sign that screamed, "Take my money and turn me into a meme." And Kai, he delivered flawlessly, leaving Jack cooked on stream with no way to save face. And honestly, after everything we've laid out about Jack Doherty, even without touching on his shady OnlyFans business or the other messy stunts he's pulled, it's crystal clear why Kai Cenat wouldn't ever collab with him. But instead of laying low, Jack tried to reinvent himself once again. This time, he jumped ship to a brand new streaming platform called Party. It's supposed to be some Web3, crypto-themed version of Twitch, where creators keep 100% of their tips. Basically, Twitch meets Bitcoin. Jack's face is all over their marketing, so it's obvious he's betting big on this move. But let's be real, crypto platforms usually crash harder than Jack's McLaren, so the odds are stacked against him from the jump. Meanwhile, his beef with Ozzy is still bubbling. Ozzy keeps flaming Jack, calling him the devil, and accusing him of wrecking an entire generation. And Jack, instead of letting it go, he keeps clapping back by shoving Party down everyone's throat, as if Ozzy's suddenly going to wake up one day and think, you know what? I do need a crypto streaming platform in my life. But that's the thing about Jack. He is obsessed with staying relevant. The man will do anything for clout, no matter how desperate it looks. Even when he tries to act like he's doing some kind of good deed, there's always strings attached. Remember when Jack tried to play hero by dropping $10,000 on the guy who dragged him out of that totaled McLaren? Sounds noble, right? Except Jack couldn't just give the money and move on. He had to turn it into a whole mini documentary. 3 camera angles, dramatic TikTok music, and close-ups, like he was shooting an Oscar reel. It wasn't about gratitude, it was about clout. That's Jack in a nutshell. Nothing in his world exists unless it's filmed and packaged for clicks. Apologies, content, gifts, content, getting roasted, content, losing thousands of dollars, still content. It's like he's addicted to broadcasting every single failure, turning his own life into a blooper reel for the internet to laugh at. At this point, Jack isn't just another influencer. He's a walking cautionary tale. From cutting 6-figure checks to rappers who couldn't care less about him, to tossing money at Twitch streamers that won't give him the time of day, to smashing up luxury cars in the name of attention, every chapter is another train wreck. And the craziest part, he doesn't even seem fazed. Instead of slowing down, Jack's doubling down, almost like he's trying to speed run his way to rock bottom, racing to see just how fast one guy can torch his own reputation. And just when you think Jack Doherty couldn't embarrass himself any further, enter his tag team partner in chaos, Josh Block. These two together are like a recipe for disaster. Everywhere they go, something wild happens, and not in the good viral win way, in the, bro, how are you still on the internet way. One of their most infamous moments, the crash outs they've become known for, whether it's getting thrown out of venues, banned from restaurants, or clowned by other creators, Jack and Josh always seem to leave a trail of mess behind them. It's like they treat humiliation as part of the brand. Take the time they got booted from McDonald's. Instead of slipping away quietly, they walked out looking like kids who just got grounded, tails tucked between their legs. The internet roasted them mercilessly, but instead of learning, Jack doubled down yet again, turning it into, you guessed it, content. Josh doesn't help either. He hypes Jack up in the worst ways, fueling his reckless energy, only to bail when the fallout hits. And Jack, he just leans into the chaos like it's a business plan. The problem is, the internet's laughing at him, not with him. At this point, Jack and Josh aren't influencers. They're crash dummies, testing how much humiliation a human being can take before the internet fully cancels them. And yet, somehow, Jack wears it like a badge of honor, like he thinks being the butt of every joke is the same as being relevant. At this point, Jack Doherty's story feels less like a career and more like a never-ending blooper reel. Every move he makes, from crashing supercars, paying rappers to walk out on him, begging Twitch streamers for clout, or teaming up with Josh Block for chaos, it all ends the same way. Jack becoming the joke. And yet, what makes it so wild is that he doesn't slow down. Most people would take the L, step back, and try to rebuild. Not Jack. He treats humiliation like fuel, doubling down every time, and finding a way to spin his latest disaster into content. It's almost impressive how relentless he is in chasing attention, even if it means torching his own reputation along the way. But here's the truth. There's a difference between being relevant and being ridiculous. Kai Cenat, Polo G, even Fauci, They've all used Jack as punchline material. And Jack, he just keeps cutting the checks, keeps taking the hits, and keeps pretending it's a win. In reality, he's funding his own downfall, one embarrassing stunt at a time. So maybe the real question is, how much further can Jack fall before he finally hits rock bottom? Or has he already passed it and just doesn't realize yet? Either way, his crash outs are far from over, and the internet's gonna keep watching every single misstep like it's a reality show. What do you think? Is Jack Doherty addicted to clout, or is he just straight up lost? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more breakdowns of the wildest internet chaos out there.